Recording before she'll go.
Almost exactly 3 years ago to the day, I was rehearsing for the musical version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The Playhouse on the Square director, resident director Dave Landis, was our director for this production, and he told all of the people in the cast that sometimes all a child needs is permission to explore. This quote was a little confusing at first until I figured out that he was talking about the theater education directors at Playhouse on the Square, whose job it is to push children to find ways of exploring themselves. I've been in learning and leadership roles at Playhouse on the Square in events led by theater education directors, so I've had lots of experience working with them. By listening to my speech today, you will learn of the duties a Playhouse on the Square theater education director does, the perks of the job, and the requirements needed to get it. Let's take a look at what theater education directors do. The duties of a theater education director cover many areas of theater. Playhouse on the Square's website, updated weekly, tells us that the main job is to coordinate tours for children's theater that go from school to school for 2 months. The theater education directors are in charge of choosing the play, and it has to be appropriate for children. They have to cast the play, direct it, and manage it for the whole rehearsal time and performance time. The other job of the theater education director is to manage the education programs. Karen Burrill is the theater education director at Playhouse on the Square, and she gave me a personal interview recently, and she let me know that the conservatories are for 5 to 17-year-olds for 1 to 3 weeks camp where they will learn skills in acting, singing, and dancing, which culminate into a play at the end. Now that we know what theater education directors do, let's take a look at the perks that the job offers. Ms. Burrill, the theater education director, told me that her job changes year to year, week to week, and even day to day. This keeps her work fresh and new, and also helps her grow as a person. But her favorite part of the job is that she gets to play a role in young actors' lives. She gets to see them find their voice and find their purpose, even if it's not in theater. But one of the best perks of the job is seeing the children who grew up in the conservatories and teens in theater come back and help teach those programs when they become adults. As you can see, there are a number of perks, but now let's take a look at the requirements needed to become a theater education director. Mr. Daniel Martin is the other theater education director at Playhouse on the Square, and he also was generous enough to give me a recent interview via email, and he told me that the first requirement is a bachelor's degree or higher in theater or theater education. The other requirement is 5 years or more of experience in arts or arts education. This can be anything from visual arts, music, theater, film. Any kind of experience is very, very necessary for this job. And finally, to be a theater education director at Playhouse on the Square, you need very honed skills in multitasking, organization, and definitely communication. Summing up, now you know that theater education director's duties cover many areas of theater, particularly with children. They have lots of rewarding perks, also with children, and they have very vital requirements that fit this specific job. As Mr. Landis told me 3 years ago, theater education directors help show children that it is very important to explore by giving opportunities for exploration and support in a happy, safe environment. Thank you.